Meanwhile, the 31 neonatal babies evacuated from Al-Shifa Hospital are to be transported to Egypt in the coming hours. They were evacuated on Sunday by the United Nations team and the Palestinian Red Crescent and taken to a maternity hospital in southern Gaza. UNICEF says their condition was, quote, rapidly deteriorating due to the collapse of medical services at Al-Shifa. According to the World Health Organization, doctors who are treating them now say all the babies are fighting serious infections and 11 of them are in critical condition. One of the fathers who was reunited with his newborn son after 2 weeks says he wasn't sure if his child was still alive.
الحمد لله رب العالمين انه يعني ربنا طمنا على الولد بعد يعني تقريبا اسبوعين او اكثر من اسبوعين. احنا كنا مشتتين الولد في اعداد انه مفقود، لا احنا عارفين هو عايش او هو ميت. انقطع التواصل مع الدكاتره، اتصلوا علينا هم بالاول قالوا تعالوا خذوا الولد اموره تمام متحسنه. فكانوا اليهود يعني قاطعين صلاح الدين واحنا كنا في الانصراف، فصعب علينا انه نصل للولد، فاستودعناه عند الله والحمد لله رب العالمين. يعني الله حافظه ورجع اليوم بالسلامه الحمد لله رب العالمين. والله انا بدي اخذه، الامور الحمد لله متحسنه الولد. اما بالنسبه لباقي الاطفال يعني الله يعينهم ويعينها اليوم، ربنا يصبرهم. بكره ان شاء الله بدي اخذه، بكره بعد ما يعملوا التحاليل، في له تحاليل يطمنوا على صحته، إن لا سمح الله ما بيحتاجش يضل هان بدي أخذه إن شاء الله.
And joining me now is Sari, the Program Director with Human Rights Watch. Thanks so much for making the time. I wanted to ask you about the babies evacuated from the Al-Shifa Hospital, which of course is under Israeli control. I mean, the evacuation is good news, but so many hospitals and other health facilities are now effectively unable to operate, and the latest numbers of wounded is at more than 30,000. What are your concerns in that regard, the treatment?
Sure. So the laws of war provide special protections for civilians in general, and in particular for hospitals and other medical facilities used to treat the sick and the wounded. Israel, both as a warring party as well as the occupying power in Gaza, has an obligation to protect hospitals and to actively facilitate their good functioning. Even before Shifa and other hospitals were raided, they had stopped functioning as hospitals because the Israeli military had systematically drained Gaza of life-saving humanitarian supplies, including the fuel needed to power those babies' incubators.
And tell us more about the flow of aid. There's no doubt what's getting in is nowhere near enough for people in the south, but is any aid getting to those who remain in the northern part of Gaza? Not everyone, of course, has been able to flee south as Israel demanded. What needs to improve with aid volume but also distribution?
Sure. So first of all, the Israeli military has allowed in a little more than 1,000 truckloads in 44 days of warfare into Gaza. That's about the same amount that used to enter in 2 days in Gaza under ordinary times when they weren't facing extraordinary challenges. Second of all, the Israeli military has kept its own crossings with Gaza closed, which is why the numbers are so low, and it is all but banned fuel from entering. The Israeli military needs to reopen its own commercial crossings with Gaza, as it has done in previous hostilities, lift the ban on fuel and allow fuel and other life-saving supplies into Gaza, and actively facilitate the flow of aid from the south to the north, because all of the commercial crossings are located in the south, and those two areas have been cut off by Israeli troops.